I'm Rebecca Castle. This is my YouTube channel now. Here's my first video that I've been promising myself and some people to start. I'm excited. This is my first video, and I'm going to be talking about my spiritually transformative experience that happened in my 20s. I did not believe that the experience that happened to me was a possible thing. But it was like a near death experience, but it happened while I was just awake, but it was very similar. I do speak and work with the International Association for Near Death Studies. They're just amazing. They've helped me a lot. Anyway, I will get to the story. So I was raised really skeptically, but I did come from an interfaith Jewish and Christian background. When I was 13, I had a trauma that was really horrible, but no one knew about it. And I just um, tried to just study it away. I thought if I was perfect on the outside, it would fix everything on the inside. That didn't work. And eventually I went to therapy in college and after college. Um, and therapy was very helpful, but eventually they told me that I was fine, that I didn't need anything. I was functional and okay. But I knew there was still, it felt like something was on top of my heart, and I wanted to get to the bottom of, I wanted to get underneath my heart and feel it, basically, was what I wanted. So at 23, I said, I want to heal all the way. And when I said that, it's like I set an intention for my life. It was different than anything I'd ever done. And so as I said that, healers and teachers started coming to me in my life and helping me. I met a Reiki teacher. I did not believe in Reiki, but I would go to her and feel better. And then I started studying with her. Um, and it did help me a lot. It helped me kind of realign my energy. I'd done a lot of therapy, but like there was still stuff happening internally that, that really helped. I also started doing like intensive Ashtanga. I met a yoga teacher who like sat me down and like kind of worked with me. She was awesome. I studied almost 5 days a week, and because I was like afraid if I didn't, I wouldn't like sleep well or I'd have some kind of breakdown. But I just did a lot of yoga and like it helped me sleep. I got really stable. And then at 25, I moved up to New York for graduate school. I went to school for speech pathology, and I was accepted at Teachers College at Columbia University. And my STE started when it was my first year in grad school. So it was January of my first year there, and I was a little sick. I had like an illness, some kind of flu, nothing big, but I was like, had a fever. And then I was also, while I was sick, reading The Tunnel and the Light by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And I think that those two things together put me in some kind of other mental state. Because I was writing in my journal, and I had started writing my journal, Dear God, like when I was 23, like on my healing journey, 23 or 24. Like, Dear God, life is good, blah, blah, blah. And this night that started my STE, I was like writing, Dear God, life is good, I'm in school, la la la. And then I just felt like I got taken over, or like something happened. I started crying, and I wrote that I wanted to devote my life to God. I wrote, Dear God, I have decided to give my life to you, and whatever that entails, I want to be guided by you, by the light. This is my pledge. I will work hard to follow this path and bring it to fruition. Please help me do this. Please help me bring light to other people. Thank you. Amen. And then I just kept going in my journal entry, and then I went to bed. That journal is like on the shelf behind me. Um, and then when I went to bed that night, I saw a light come over my bed. Believe me, I questioned myself 1,000 million times. Like, did I make that light up? Was I just imagining things? Did I think that? But it went like from one end of the room to right over me. This light could see into my heart. It loved me. It was like sentient, and I was really scared for this light to see me, because even though I'd been doing all this healing and all this therapy, like I just felt like I was still hiding a lot, and this light was like seeing past all the stuff I was like still hiding. And I was like, go away, go away, go away. I'm scared. I'm scared. Um, I just like really tensed up and said that to it. And then as I tensed up and like told it to go away, I started feeling tingling in my head, like spreading through my head like this. I was like, okay, this is a headache, but this is like a really weird headache. Like, what is this headache? I had a boyfriend at the time. I looked at him, he was asleep. I was like, what's this headache? Is he having this headache? And then it kept being so peaceful and loving. And then I just relaxed, and I felt this voice come into my head that said, you don't have to be afraid, but if you are, you can wear a hat. And it put a graduation hat into my mind's eye. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was talking about. And I just remember being 26, I was like, well, that's not cute. And I like tried to put other hat ideas into the voice, that they could have chosen. which is not very nice. And then I'm sad to say that I did that, but then the voice stopped after that. But the experience started like after that night and for the next 2 years. So then biggest, like the next morning I woke up and as I was going to school, I saw everyone glowing. Like they had light coming out of them. They were beautiful angels. I remember walking to school and be like, oh my goodness, everyone is an amazing, beautiful angel. I love everyone. Like everyone just had this like light pouring out of them. It was so beautiful. And then, um, and then I started having psychic dreams like that week, and those are still continued to this day. They started that week like giving me guidance about things I needed to do in my life, things that were going to happen to me. Um, Over the years, it was like I had a dream about a car accident before it happened. I've had dreams about breakups, a couple times someone broke up with me. It sucked, but I had dreams about it before it happened. Also, like, I had a carbon monoxide poisoning. That's a whole nother story that I was like saved by angels 100%, but I had a dream about it before it happened. Um, yeah, so those dreams were starting. I remember calling my boyfriend at the apartment, like, hey, could you see like these different, I didn't ask him about the light, but I was asking about all these other things in the apartment while I was like at school and he was at the apartment. I was like, could you see this thing on the window? Can you see, blah, blah, blah. And I was like asking about all these things because I was like, am I just like making up a lot of stuff right now? Like, what is happening? And he could see everything I asked him about. And like all the spiritual things, like, they were just really different than that. They were happening to my heart and my soul, and they were like from beyond, and they felt very loving. Um, I also, like that week, called my Reiki teacher. Like, she seemed to know about stuff like this. She knew a lot more about stuff like that than I did. And I was like, telling her, I remember calling because I was always freaking out because I didn't believe in any of this stuff. I was like, I saw a light. I don't know why I saw a light. She was like, what's wrong? Were you sick? What was going on? You saw a light. And I was like, going through all these things in my life, like, no, I'm in school, like, blah blah blah, like, I wasn't really that sick. I was like, oh, like, I wrote in my journal, I devoted my life to God. And she was like, what, you devoted your life to God and you wrote it in your journal? Like, she started laughing because she was like, of course this is why you saw a light, goofball. She just, I remember her telling her friend and partner at the time, like, uh, she devoted her life to God and she doesn't even know why she saw a light. She wrote it in her journal, and they were just like laughing in a nice way. I loved them and trusted them, but I didn't know, like, I didn't understand it. I didn't even connect the two things for like until I talked with her. So anyway, so yeah, I started seeing light in everyone. I started having psychic dreams. I got rid of my nightmares. So after my trauma at 13, I started having these horrible nightmares. I called them demons, but I wasn't raised to believe in demons because I was like from a skeptical family. That wasn't just any part of my vocabulary other than these nightmares. So I was like, I would be awakened and it would be like sleep paralysis. Like I couldn't move, but these like shadowy things would circle my bed and like laugh at me and taunt me and like um, just bother me. And I remember the last nightmare I had, I was awakened and I was like sitting up outside of my body, and this thing was circling me, this shadowy demon figure, whatever it was. And I just looked right at it and I said, you can't hurt me. God lives in me and works through me. I knew I didn't have to be afraid. And every time I'd had the nightmares before, I would just be like tensed up, so scared. This is horrible. And I just knew like, wait, I don't have to be afraid of you anymore. So I looked at it and it went away. They never came back. I'd had them since I was 13. And after this night, I never had them again. I've never had them again. I'm 44 now. It's amazing. So that was really awesome. I woke up the next day like, yes, that was the best night of my life. Yay. After, let's see, I also felt how connected everyone is. So I started to feel like I hurt my sister by accident. And the first time I noticed like that I had really hurt her, this was like, it hurt my heart, it hurt my soul. And it was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I could hurt people. I didn't know I was affecting people around me at all. And I felt her pain. And I just didn't want to hurt anyone anymore. I didn't realize that I could do that. And I also felt like when I'm kind to someone, how much of a difference it makes. So I try to bring kindness to everything that I do now. Um, and I also saw an alternate timeline of my life. So this was like a very strange thing to happen, but I was going to write a different book I mean, like I know now, like I'm supposed to tell the story and talk about it and share about it, but at the time I didn't know that, and I was opening my computer to write during these 2 years, and I started to write about something else, and I saw my whole entire life flash before my eyes if I did that. I saw the book getting published to bad reviews. I saw how dejected I would feel. I saw like basically dying alone, and I even like saw the bad review in this like it's like a movie. It was like I lived the movie and I watched the movie. It was like I lived that life, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that. I closed my computer, like bad idea, like. But it wasn't like it was just a thought that I had. It was like at that spiritual level, if you've ever had that, it was like much deeper than just a thought. It was in my soul, basically. I also started feeling angels. That's the best. The first they were basically around me for the whole experience, but like I would start noticing them at different times. Like I remember I was going to sign up to study abroad while I was in grad school, and as I picked up the pen to do that, I mean, this was back when people used the pens a lot. I felt really tall angels on either shoulder, like they just felt really tall, I just felt really strongly they didn't want me to do that. They didn't use words. It was just like basically telling me in my heart I shouldn't do that. So I like put the pen down. I didn't sign up to study abroad, and I went home and did some more healing in Louisiana and took that summer at home with my family. Um, let's see. I've also seen little angels since. I've felt them. I started feeling them a lot, and they're always like there's a lot of stories I could tell about that. Um, but that was the first time I noticed it. And then, let's see, I think I got most of the different things. My experience ended at the end of these, it was about 2 years. And at the end of it, I had this dream about this angel that I thought was a real person. I was in the dream, I was in my room, I was talking with this person angel who was glowing, and like as I was just saying like life is hard, I don't know why I'm here, I don't know what I'm doing, and I was just like I don't know what I'm doing. And this person he kept looking at me. He was glowing, he had so much love in his heart, and he was looking into my heart, and he was like, life's amazing, you need to go out and have a great life, go have adventures, go live a great life, it's such a gift to be alive, like. And it was like not just like he was just saying la la la, it was like he was looking in my heart and my soul, like with full of love. And again, I was in my 20s and I thought he was the love of my life. I was like, what? What's your name? when am I going to meet you? And he was like, my name's Jonathan. Total love. Like nothing, no judgment about like what I assumed. He's like, you'll meet me when you finish swimming. It was just all love. And then the dream shifted from me being lowered like in the room to me being on a big ship in the ocean, and I was just lowered down into the ocean by myself, and I had to just start swimming out and swimming alone. And then when I woke up the next morning, my whole experience was over. So for those 2 years, I didn't realize that I was really surrounded by light and angels and God and love. And it was like, I woke up the next morning after that dream, and it just really pulled back, like it was over. It felt like it had all gone away. It was like, go figure this out. I didn't understand that. Like I could feel that it was over, but I was like, wait, I thought as soon as I was done learning all this stuff, like I gave my life to God, I was learning all this cool stuff, I thought I was going to go live in heaven and like have this great life, like life with God in heaven. When it was like, no, like I made this promise. I do say it was by accident. I did not mean to make it. I call myself the accidental mystic because it was not something I ever planned to do in my life. But it really changed my life. And anyway, I didn't realize for a long time, like I thought I'd be done swimming. So, okay, I was like, okay, I'm still here on the earth. I guess I don't get to go live in heaven right now. But like, I kept being like, well, I'm swimming. I think I'm done swimming, and now I'm going to meet this really awesome guy from my dream. Like, no, I'm not going to be done swimming until I guess I'm done with my life on earth. And that's my whole story. Yes, I was in grad school the whole time. That's a whole nother part of my story. I had some mentors to help me. My stepdad was one of them because he was, raised in a really spiritual kind of background. And so he was able to give me advice and guidance. I also found a shaman on Google, a whole nother story. I thought it was totally nuts, but I was like, I think I'm losing my mind and I think I'm schizophrenic. And I was able to go talk with him, and he was like, he had the perspective, like it was okay to have both of those mentors help me a lot. And also, like, I just, like, kept studying, and, like, things would happen. Like, anyone, like, you have stuff that happens to you that people don't know about that was what it was like for me. Um, so this ended in 2008. I have been figuring out how to swim ever since. I didn't talk about this for a long time. I was really scared to talk about it, but I finally felt really strongly last year that I needed to start sharing about it. I got a real big push to submit to speak at the International Association for Near Death Studies conference, the IANS conference. I got accepted after never talking about this ever. Like I told like one friend and one boyfriend a little bit, the littlest bit about it, not everything. And it didn't always really make sense until I got accepted to speak at the conference and I was like, let me sit with this and like think about all the things that really happened. And it was very easy for me to look back and like see it because they were just so different than the rest of my life. It was really spiritually deep. They touched my heart and my soul, and it was like divine and loving and beautiful. So, yeah, and now I share about it. I go on podcasts. I've told this story on like a few podcasts, and I'm getting used to telling it. It takes a lot of courage for me to tell it, but I just hope it brings you hope. That's why I'm telling it. I hope it will bring you some hope for you to know that you can have God's love or divine love with you, and that you can, really, I don't know. I just hope it helped you. Anyway, I will do some more videos after this. I'm hoping I have few different topics I was thinking about talking about. So I stay tuned for more videos, and I hope that this was uplifting for you. Y'all have a great day. Bye. Let me stop it.